This right here is lambskin. It kind of looks like deerskin, but deerskin's a lot thicker than this. But it kind of has the same feel. This is vegetable tanned lambskin. You can see the back is kind of rough in some areas. And then they have stamps on the back. The stamps on the back will mean that this piece was 2 feet, and it's got the 2 0. The 2 means that it's 2 feet square, even. So the piece that this was originally was just 2 feet square. What they do is they stretch it onto a grid, and then every little square inch onto it is a usable square footage. So if you get a foot that says it's 50 square feet, it might really only be, in your measurement, when you go to measure things out, it might only be about 25. So you kind of have to watch that too. Know what the if you're buying online, to know what the usable square footage really is. So this piece right here, the vegetable tans are not really sealed. This isn't sealed. I could put water on this, it would go darker, and I could stain it and stuff, and it'd be really nice. So that's not sealed at all. These other leathers are all sealed. These are all lambskin pieces. This is a dark purple. On this I want to show you right here. On any leather that you get, you'll have these little clamps on the edges. This is where they put the clamps to stretch the leather out. So if it's a nice, genuine piece of leather, it should have those clamps around the edges. Some of them will come with holes. These are usually from scars, or just growths on the animal, and they get cut off. So some pieces will end up having little tiny holes like that. Some pieces, this is a metallic gray, so it has a bit of a shine to it. This one is a gold leather. You'll notice between this one is actually kind of a sealant over the top of it. This one is gold foil, so to see the little foil here, see if I can pull some of it off. It's just a little piece of foil that's right over the top of it. So this is not really, it's really super shiny gold, but the leather itself is this lighter leather with a gold foil over the top. So some of them might be metallic, like this, where it's actually sealant over and sprayed onto it, and this is a foil over the top of it. There's also, lambskin comes in so many different colors, like this one is yellow. You get the white. This white, I antiqued it to look like this. I stripped the top of it off, just took some, I think it was paint thinner or lacquer thinner, and just lightly took a little bit of it off, the shine off of it. I left a lot of the color onto it, and I just took my oil paint, some raw umber, and we painted it onto it, and then we sealed it with a wax to go over the top. But we can make a really rustic looking, old looking piece of leather from something really nice and white. And then there's also, you can get really dark leathers too. I wanted to show you this piece because of this. This is a fat fold along the side. A lot of leather, because the animals have, fats and rolls, and you have to work around those. Some of them will have little fat rolls. Usually they're on the outside and they're small, like this piece is, and sometimes they're really big across the piece. They don't go out. You cannot iron the fat folds out, but you can iron things like this out, and there's a tutorial on my blog about that. Then this piece also, it has that bit of metallic shine to it. It's more of like a pearl shine instead of metallic. You don't look at it and go, it's metallic. You think more of like a pearliness over the top. So some of them are pearlized, and some of them are metallic, and some of them are just the full, the gold over the top. See, this piece has, the holes. Some of them will come up with holes and things like that. If it's a nice top quality piece, it won't have too big of holes in it. Okay, here's the stamping process again. This one's 8-2. So the 2, you'll either have a 1, 2, or a 3 there, or a 0. The 0 means it's just, it would be 8 feet square, or 8 square feet. This one is 8.2, which means 8.5. If it had 8-1 there, it would be 8 1/4. The 1, 2, and 3 right here is just quarters. So 1/4, 2 quarters, 3 quarters. So this is 8.5. You'll notice too, The reason I use lambskin is because it's a lot cheaper than goat skin, which is typical in the bookbinding world. Goat skin's really super nice to use, but it's also super expensive. Okay, this piece right here, with lambskin, it's a little bit more spongier than goat skin. If you can kind of see in here when it wrinkles, there's a little wrinkleness in there. By sponge, I mean that when I pull it away, there's layers and layers to the skin, and it's a little bit more loose than other pieces. You can see how it's kind of loose there. It's got a little bit more sponge to it. When you have a sponge, you can squish it really tight, or you can let it loose. So that's what this has in it. It's got a lot of the sponge to it. A lot of the lambskin, though, you can get really nice pieces. Like this is really solid. There's hardly any sponge to it. This is a full lambskin. So if you ever buy a lambskin, this is probably what you'll end up getting. You can see the stamp right there. It's got a 9.5 square feet. You can see right from this is not really usable 9.5 square feet. You know, like it might be half of that, or a little bit more than half. You can see parts like this have a little bit of sponge to them down here. This is still nice for, you could use it for books still. But if you're really going to emboss a piece and do a really nice emboss work or inset something, you want a piece that's not spongy at all. And all this in the area, the middle here has no sponge at all to it. It's really nice to work with. And so that'd be a really nice piece to work with. You can see this side over here. It's all got a sealed cover to it. It's really, really nice, pretty red. This right here, you can see all these little wrinkles in here. There's a wrinkle from folding it. Those are all ironable out. You can probably iron them out. This right here is a fat wrinkle right here. And so you might be able to iron a lot of that out, and you might be able to stretch it onto a book so that a lot of it goes out, but it will still have a little faint line of a fat mark there. So if you don't want that on your book, make sure that you work around that piece when using it for your book.